Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. We got game two of a three-game series between the Baltimore Orioles and Detroit Tigers in the pre-1961 Apba Bats League. Leading off for the Orioles playing center field, Baby Doll Jacobson. Batting second, playing right field, Harry Rice. Batting third, playing first base, George Sisler. Batting fourth, playing left field, Ken Williams. Batting fifth, playing third base, Gene Robertson. Batting sixth on the catch and Hank Severide, and batting seventh, playing second base, Marty McManus. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Bobby Wallace. And on the mound, batting ninth, Herb Shocker. And for the Detroit Tigers, the hometown Tigers, we got leading off playing left field, Ty Cobb. Batting second, playing center field, Bobby Veck. Batting third, playing right field, Al Kaline. Batting fourth, playing first base, Hank Greenberg. Batting fifth, playing second base, Charlie Gehringer. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Harvey Kuhn. Batting seventh, playing third base, Ray Boone. Batting eighth, doing the catching, Johnny Blasser. And on the mound for the Tigers and batting ninth is George Mullin. Let's get down here to Tiger Stadium and get this game started. Leading off for the Orioles, batting 312 is Baby Doll Jacobson with 2 homers and 5 RBIs. This is Mullins, George's third appearance. He's 1-0 with a 1.8 ERA. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball back to George. He fires over to first for out number 1. And Rice is up to the plate now. And Rice is batting 310, 2 homers and 9 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out the Cobb. 2 quick outs here in the top of the first. George Sisler here. Get on base. George is batting 208, no homers and 6 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. 1, 2, 3 goes Baltimore. To the bottom of the first we go. Baltimore nothing. Tigers coming up to the plate with Cobb, Veck, and Kaline. Cobb's batting 314, 2 homers and 7 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. Wallace has got it for out number 1. And now you got Bobby Veck up now. And Veck, he's batting 143. No homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be against the righty. 17. And that's going to be a nice play down at short by Wallace again. That's 2 ground balls to Wallace, 2 outs. And now Kaline comes to the plate. And Kaline's batting 348, 5 homers and 12 RBIs. And that's a swing and a miss. 1, 2, 3 goes the Tigers. No score as we go to the top of the second with Williams, Roberts, and Severide. And you can see the team comparisons. Baltimore 6-6, batting 248, 314 on base percentage, slugging a 437 and a 752 OPS. The Tigers are 6-5. They're batting 232 with a 338 on base percentage, slugging 360 with an OPS of 698. And now you got Ken Williams up, followed by Roberts and Severide. Ken's 311 batting average with a homer and 7 RBIs. And that's going to be a base on ball. Williams trots on down to first base runner for the Orioles. And that brings up Gene Robertson. And Robinson's batting 180, no homers and 2 RBIs. Ken down there at first with great speed. And that's not going to help out because that's a tailor-made double play down the short 6-4-3. That erases the walk. Now there's 2 outs and nobody on for Hank. And Severeid's batting .217, no homers and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be excuse me, that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. George has got that one, fires over to first. That ends the inning. Bottom of the second we go. Greenberg, Gehringer, and Kuhn do up here. Hank is batting .244, no homers and 4 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts here by Shocker. And here's Charlie Gehringer. Charlie's batting .211, no homers and 5 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Jacobson in center for out number 2. Another 2 quick outs here. It's up to Ray Boone to get something going. And we got Boone out of order here. Harvey's up and then Boone, right? Yep. So Harvey's up, batting .237 with no homers and 2 RBIs. And that's a ground ball down to Wallace. 1, 2, 3 goes the Tigers. To the top of the third we go. You've got the bottom part of the order due up here for Baltimore. McManus, Wallace, and Shocker. Marty's batting .216, no homers and 7 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. And that's going to eat him up, and Ray's going to make an error. That's going to be an E5. And Marty's aboard here with a error. That brings up Wallace now with a runner down at first, nobody out. And Bobby's batting .220, no homers and 1 RBI. And that's going to be a ground ball. Nope, that's going to be a hit by pitch. Yep, he hits him. And all of a sudden now we got first and second and nobody out. And that'll bring up Shocker. He'll try to bunt them both over. And Shocker is batting .200 on the year. And here's the pitch to Shocker. 20. That's going to be 2. That's going to be a foul ball, strike 1. Fouls that one off. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And 22 on a sacrifice. And that's going to be a 56 on an 8. 56 and 8. That's going to be fielding column 2. And that's going to be a sacrifice first on air, throwing error. 1 runner scores other the third. The first baseman is a 4 or a 5. The other is out at third, and it'll be a first. So the runner on, it's going to be an E2. The runner on second is going to score. The runner on first is going to get thrown out trying to get the third. So let's see here. And I might want to check here one. Might still want to call this a sacrifice so he doesn't get charged in the bat. So let's see how that goes. Give me 1 second here. I don't want him getting charged with an at bat. So you still might call it a sacrifice here. Page 3. Where's the set? Here we go. So sacrifice. So it will be, so we won't do this. It'll be a sacrifice to air, and runner on second will score. Runner on first will be thrown out at third. Let's see if this works. Nope, I didn't get him out, and that's what we want. I want the runner out at third. Undo. So how do I get him thrown out? If someone other than the first baseman feels. Okay. Try this one more time here. And we'll go with a sacrifice. It was to the second baseman. It's an E. We'll put it on there, an E2. Runner on second scores. Runner on first. Out. Trying to get two bases. Let's see if it works this time. Nope. So we'll try it the other way, and I'll get rid of the, we'll edit it. So it'll be an E2, runner on second, scores, runner on first is out at third. See if that works. Yeah, that'll do it. And then we'll go in and edit. Go in and edit the box score. Go in here and edit the box score. And we'll get rid of the base hit by shocker. Let's see here, batting shocker. And it didn't give me my bat. Looks like it didn't give me my bat. Okay. So we'll take it. If it didn't give me my bat, if we come back later and it did, wait a second here. That's what it did. Let's go back, undo. Undo, 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 undo. That's what we want. That's why it didn't give me my bat. Okay. We're going to do the E2. Runner on second, thrown out. Makes it home. Runner on first gets thrown out. Okay, and now go in and edit. Now go in and edit. Sorry about that. Shouldn't have took this long. Shouldn't have took this long. I apologize. Now we're going to go in and edit the box score and take the, I don't want that. I want to edit the box score. Edit. And get rid of his at bat. He doesn't get charged with an at bat, and we're good. And now you got Shocker down at first, one in, on the air, and a runner at first. A runner thrown out at third, and Baby Doll's up, and he grounded out to the pitcher his first time up. And that's going to be a tailor-made double play down the second, and a 4-6-3 double play, and that'll end the inning. Orioles get an unearned run, take a 1-0 lead into the bottom of the third. And we got Boone due up, followed by Blasser and Mullen. And Ray Boone is batting 179 with 4 homers and 7 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball in front of the plate. And that's going to be an Baltimore chop, and Hank can't handle it, and that's going to be an error on him. So 2 errors on both catchers here today. That gets Blasser up now with a runner down at first. Tying run at first on an error. And Johnny's batting .250, no homers and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be 2 balls and no strikes on Johnny. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And he gets a hold of this one. He's going to drive this ball in the right field, I believe. That'll be a 17. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. And Boone will stop at second. And now there's first and second and nobody out. And George is going to try to bunt these guys over in the scoring position, first and second. Get the go-ahead run in scoring position also. George is 0 for 3 on the year. And that's going to be a foul ball, strike 1 on him. And that's going to be a 28 on a sacrifice. That's going to be, he bunted back to the mound. Shocker's up with it. He fires over to first with Marty covering. And that'll be out number 1. But the runners get down to second and third now with 1 out. Orioles will play back. Not bringing the infield in this early. Up by 1. Top of the order, and Ty Cobb, can he deliver here? Got 2 slow runners on the bases, and Boone and Blasser. Cobb is 0 for 1 today, grounded out to short. And he didn't ground out this time. He gets a hold of this. Cobb's going to try to give the Tigers a 2-1 lead. And that's going to be a single in the right field. And a 41. Blasser, like I say, not with great speed down there. And he's going to stop at third. So that's going to tie the ball game up. And we're going to have first and third now. And 1 out. Cobb down at first. See if Cobb stays put. And I think Cobb's going to take off here. That'll be a 23. Trying to get in scoring position with a stolen base of 45 or lower. Cobb's going to be safe, and they throw him out. Cobb gets thrown out, stealing. And here, I don't want the call stealing here. Ten. Where's caught stealing at? Darn it. Because I don't want the runner on third trying to steal. just be a... Alrighty, so now we got the runner thrown out at second. And Blaster's down at third now with 2 outs. And Bobby's up. Can Bobby get a base hit here and untie this game? It's 2 apiece. Here's the pitch to Bobby. And that's going to be a ground ball. Pop up. And Shocker's going to take it himself. And that'll end the inning. 44. Let's see, a 44. That'll be fielding column 1. So that is a ground ball. He does throw over to first. We'll get her right. Ground ball over to first. And that'll end the inning. We'll get it right here. A 6. And they strand a runner, and we're going to the top of the 4th. It's 1-1 now. You got Rice due up here, followed by Sisler and Williams. Rice is 0 for 1. He has flown out the left. And here's the pitch to Rice. And that's going to be a fly ball out the back. Bobby makes the catch for out number 1. George Sisler up now. And Sisler is 0 for 1. He's grounded out the second. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. Again, 2 ground balls the second. 2 times George has been out. Ken Williams comes to the plate now. And Williams is walked his first time up. And not this time. Ken gets a hold of this one. And that ball is going to land out there against the wall in right field. And that'll be a 2-out double. Ken Williams in scoring position for Gene Robertson. Gene driving him in and then get the go-ahead run for the Orioles. Gene grounded into a 6-4-3 double play his first time. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Harvey. He fires over to first. And the Orioles strand a runner. To the bottom of the 4th we go. K-Line, Greenberg, and Charlie due up. Al's 0 for 1. Struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a 18. Excuse me. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. Baby Doll's got it. And that's out 1. And now you got Greenberg up. And Hank, he struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a base on balls. Hank trots on down to first with a 1-out walk. And you can see that the Orioles have struck out 35 times, walked 44, hit 45 doubles, 13 triples. Tigers have struck out 54 times, walked 69, hit 17 doubles, and 8 triples. Now you got a runner down at first and 1 out. And Charlie's up, and he flew out to center his first time up. And that's going to be a 17. And that's going to be popped up down the short. Nope, that's a swing and a miss. Shocker strikes him out. So that's out number 2. And Harvey's up now. And Harvey's 0 for 1. He grounded out the short his first time up. And that's going to be another fly ball. This one out the center. Baby Doll makes the catch. And that'll end the inning. Tigers strand 1. To the top of the 5th we go in a 1-1 tie. Severeid, McManus, and Wallace due up. Hank grounded out to the pitcher's first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out the K-line. He makes the catch for out number 1. And Marty's up now, McManus. And he's reached on an error, came around to score his first time up. And that's going to be a 17. That's going to be a base hit, an infield hit for Marty. And no play there to be made by Charlie. And now you got the runner on first. Go ahead, run. And you got Bobby Wallace up now. Bobby got hit by a pitch his first time up. Here's the pitch. And he gets a hold of this, Bobby does. See if Marty can score on a double here maybe. He don't have to, because I believe that's going to be a triple in the right field. RBI triple. Gets the run in. And it is now 2-1 Baltimore. And Wallace is down at third with one out. Shocker at the plate. They'll bring the infield in. And Shocker had a successful bunt. Well, kinda. It was an error that led to the run. His first time up. Here's the pitch to Shocker. And that's going to be a 22. That's going to be in front of the plate. And that's going to be hit down the first. And Greenberg's going to come home with it. And that's going to be a 3-2 put out. Now you got a runner down at first and 2 outs. Nice play by Hank. Even with the defense back. Well, the defense was in, sorry. Baby Doll's up now. He grounded out twice. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Harvey. He fires across the diamond and that'll end the inning. But the Orioles score 1 on the triple. Take a 2-1 lead. You got Boone due up, followed by Basser and Mullen. And Ray's 0 for 1. Reached on an error and came around the score. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Wallace. That's going to be an error on Wallace. That's an E6. And Boone's aboard here with a lead-off error. And you can see here that the Orioles have scored 64 runs on 9 homers, no stolen bases, and haven't been caught. The Tigers with 53 homers, 3 stolen bases, and 4 caught stealings. Blasser is 1 for 1 today. And here's the pitch to Johnny. And that's going to be hit down. That's going to be another hit by pitch. Yep, Shocker hits him. And they're not happy over there in the Tigers dugout. A lot of chirping. You got first and second and nobody out. George up here. He's going to try to lay down another bunt. He had a successful bunt his last time. And he's going to get her done again. That's going to be bunted down the third. And only plays over to first. With Marty covering, and now you got second and third and 1 out. Back to the top of the order. Now to force the Orioles to bring the infield in here in the 5th. Don't want this game to get tied. Cobb is 1 for 2 with an RBI. He had an RBI single his last time up, grounded out the short his other time. And we drop the dice. And a 36, and that's going to be a base on balls. And the Tigers are everywhere. You look, here's a Tiger, there's a Tiger, everywhere there's a Tiger. You got Boone, Blasser, and Cobb. And Bob Veck up now. And the Orioles now will play back for the double play ball. Veck is grounded out the short and back to the mound. And not this time. Bob Veck's going to try to bust this game open for the Tigers. He gets a hold of this one. And that ball is driven into the deep left field. And nobody's going to catch that. And they're going to run for a while, folks. And that's going to be a base clearing triple. And that's going to make it a 4-2 ball game. Bob Veck down at third with a 3 RBI triple. Just like that, the Tigers take the lead. And they're going to bring the infield in now. Al Kaline's up. He is struck out and flew out the center. And that's going to be a pop-up behind home plate. Hank throws the mask off. makes the catch for out number 2. And Hank's up now. Excuse me, Greenberg's walked and struck out. And this time he puts the ball in play. And that's going to be a 9 on a 18. And that's going to be a nice play out there in right field by Rice. Takes away the hit and ends the inning. But the 3-run triple, 3 RBI triple, puts the Tigers in front 4-2 as we go to the top of the 6th. We got Rice, Sisler, and Williams due up here. Rice is 0 for 2. He's flown out the left and center. And that's going to be another fly ball out the center. 1 down. And George Sisler's up now. Can George get something going here with 1 out? He is grounded out the second both times up. And that's going to be a ground ball. This time Greenberg takes it. And he'll step on the bag for out number 2. And now Ken Williams is up. And Williams is 1 for 1. He's doubled and walked. And that's going to be another base on balls. Williams down at first. And the tying run comes to plate. And Gene Robertson, can he deliver here with 2 outs? Keep this 6th inning alive here for Baltimore. He's grounded out the short twice. Once was a 4-3 double play. And that's going to be against a 16 on a 9. And that's going to be a single. So Gene gets aboard here with an infield hit. And all of a sudden the Orioles are making some noise here. Hank's up with 1st and 2nd and 2 outs. And Hank's 0 for 2. He's grounded out to the mound and flew out the right. And a 25 and 8. That'll be a 19. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Charlie. Actually, it's going to be a pop-up down to Charlie. He makes the catch. And that'll end the inning. And the Orioles strand 2. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's still 4-2 Detroit. And Charlie, who just made that play, is up now, followed by Harvey Kuhn and Ray Boone. Charlie's 0 for 2. He's flown out and struck out. And not this time. Charlie connects on this pitch. And that ball is laced in the right field. Rice gets over there in a hurry, cuts it off. He'll hold Charlie to a leadoff single. See the Tigers' upcoming schedule. They got 1 more game in Detroit against Baltimore. Then the A's come to town, and after that, then Boston comes to town. Harvey is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and flown out. And that's going to be a 18 on an 8. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. 44 and a 2. I believe that's fielding column 1. Yes, it is. Yep. And they'll get the lead runner. Matter of fact, he strikes Harvey out. That'll be a strikeout. And Boone's up now. And Boone is 0 for 2. He's reached on an error twice and came around the score both times. And he's going to come around the score this time, folks, because that ball is high. That ball is far. That ball is out of here. And it is now a 6-2 lead by the Tigers. Boone with his 5th home run of the year. Gives the Tigers a 4-run lead. And Johnny Blasser's up now. And Johnny's 1 for 1 with a single, and he's been hit by a pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. Baby Doll makes the catch for out number 2. And George is up now with a 4-run lead. And he has had 2 sacrifice bunts his first 2 times up. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Marty. And that'll end the inning. But the Boone 2-run homer makes it 6-2 as we go to the 7th inning. We'll have McManus, Wallace, and a pitch hitter for Urban. Marty is 1 for 2. He's came around the score both times. He's reached on an error and singled. He's been the only 2 runs for the Orioles. And this will be a rare play, a 35 on a 36. And that's going to be hit down. That'll be in front of the plate. Have to re-roll here. And that's going to be a nice play by Blaster. He jumps on it, fires down the first for out number 1. You see Baltimore's upcoming schedule. They got one more game here in Detroit. Then they're going home and take on the Yankees. And then Cleveland comes to Baltimore. Wallace is 1 for 1. He's been hit by a pitch and tripled. Drove in one of the 2 runs. And he squares this one up again. So Bobby Wallace is having a fine game here. And that ball is hit into the gap. That'll be a double with 1 out. Wallace down at second. And we'll have a pitch hitter here for Urban. As Urban goes 7 innings, gives up 6 runs on 5 hits. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here. And Sammy West, I believe, is going to come off the bench. Sammy grabs a bat. And Sammy is batting .667, folks, on the year. He's got 2 RBIs. He's got Wallace down there in scoring position. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short, pop up down the short. And that'll be out number 2. 2 down now. And we got the top of the order and Baby Doll up now. Can Baby Doll get a run in here? He's 0 for 3. He's grounded out 3 times. And that's going to be a base on balls. Now there's first and second and 2 outs for Rice. One swing and a bat can make this an interesting game. Make it a 1-run game. First and second here. Harry's 0 for 3. He has flown out 3 times, twice to center, once to left. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. He'll go the short way over to second. And that'll end the inning. Orioles strand 2. We go to the 7th inning stretch, 6-2. See who's going to come out here and pitch. Got the lefties due up and then K-line. I think they only got 1 lefty in the bullpen now. Yeah, Hamilton's the only lefty. I think they're going to bring in Milt Pappas. He hasn't pitched in a while. Try to keep us a 4-run game. Yeah, Milt will come out here and, like I say, try to keep this a 4-run game. So Milt Pappas comes in. And this is Milt Pappas' 5th appearance. He's 1-0 with a 2.35 ERA. He'll be facing the top of the order here for the Tigers. Cobb, Beck, and K-line. Cobb is 1 for 2. He's got an RBI, and he's walked, and he's grounded out short. And he's not going to ground out the short this time. He's going to get a base hit here. And that's going to be a double down the third base line. And Cobb's on second with a leadoff double. And Bobby Beck's up now with another runner in scoring position for the Tigers. And Bobby is 1 for 3 with a 3 RBI triple. He's grounded out the other 2 times. And that's going to be a big swing and a miss. Big strikeout there by Pappas for 1 down. Now Al Kaline comes up. And Kaline is 0 for 3. He struck out, flown out, and popped up. And that's going to be against the righty, 14. And that's going to be a nice play down there at short by Wallace. Does he keep the runner at second? Yes, he does. He looks the runner back, fires over to first for out number 2. And it's up to Hank Greenberg to do something with Cobb's leadoff double. Greenberg is 0 for 2. He has struck out, walked, and flown out. And that's going to be a grounder down to Wallace. And again, he'll fire over to first. And Cobb gets stranded at second. We go to the 8th. Still 6-2 Detroit. Got the big boys due up here for Baltimore. Sisler, Williams, and Robertson. George is 0 for 3 today. He has grounded out to second twice and first. And that's going to be another ground ball down the second. And the same result. Charlie throws him out for out number 1. And now Ken Williams is up. And Williams is 1 for 1 with a double and 2 walks on the day. And he's going to get a hold of this. Williams is seeing the ball well off of George. And that's going to be another double in the right field. Sorry, that's going to be a double into, in the right field. So a 1-out double by Williams. Gene Robertson up now with a runner in scoring position. The Orioles has got to cash in here and get some runs. They don't want to have to score 4 in the top of the 9th. Gene's 1 for 3. He's grounded out to short twice, and he singled his last time up. And that's going to be against a 16. That's going to be a ground ball down the third. 56 on the 4. That'll be fielding column 3. And that's going to be a strikeout by George. He strikes Robertson out. So it's up to Hank now with 2 down and a runner at second. And Hank's 0 for 3. He's grounded out, popped up, and flown out. And that's going to be a ground ball down the first. Greenberg fields it cleanly, fires over to George covering. And the double goes nowhere. We go to the 8th. It's still 6-2 as the Orioles strand a runner in scoring position. We got Gehringer, Kuhn, and Boone due up here against Milt Pappas. Charlie's 1 for 3. He has flown out, struck out, singled, and came around to score. And he drives this ball into the outfield. And that ball is blasted in the left center field. And Charlie's going to run for a while, and he's going to run himself down the third with a leadoff triple. That forces the Orioles to bring the infield in. Runner down at third and nobody out. And Harvey comes up. He is 0 for 3. Grounded out, flown out, and struck out. And that's going to be a base on balls. Pappas walks him. They're still going to keep the infield in. Can't afford to give up any runs. It's first and third though now. Nobody out for Boone. And Boone's already hit a 2-run homer today. He's been on base all 3 times. And he's come around to score all 3 times. He's reached on 2 errors and hit the home run. And that's not what they wanted. That's going to be a ground ball down the second. And a 65. And he's an 8. I think that's still going to be fielding column 3. And it is. And that's going to be a single through second. Runner's going to score, and the other runner's going to stop at second. So that's an RBI single in the center field. We'll say in the right field. And Boone delivers again. It's the Boone show today, folks. Ray's been on base every time. Now you got first and second. And still nobody out as Milt Pappas is getting beat around here in the eighth. Johnny Blaster's 1 for 2. He singled, been hit by a pitch, and flew out the center. And that's going to be a ground ball down the first. And that's going to be the old 1-6-3 double play. I mean the 3-6-3 double play. And the runner will get down the third, but now there's 2 outs. And George is going to stay in the game here, folks. He's going to try to get a complete game out of this, up by 5 now. And George is 0 for 1. He has 2 sacrifice bunts and grounded out the second. And an 8 against a 16. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Gene at third. He fires over to George. That'll end the inning. But the Tigers tack on a run and make it a 5-run ball game. And George is trying for the complete game. He's got the bottom part of the order due up here. McManus, Wallace, and a pitch hitter for Milt. And Marty is 1 for 3. He's reached on an error, came around the score, single, came around the score, and grounded out. He scored both runs here for the Orioles. That's going to be a ground ball down to Harvey. That'll be out number 1 here in the 9th. And Wallace has got one of the RBIs in this game with that double. RBI triple, rather. He is 2 for 2. He's doubled and tripled. Been hit by a pitch. Wallace having a hell of a game. And a 35. That's a 9 against a 20. And that's going to be the first time they get him out. And that's a nice play down there by Harvey. He fires over to first. 2 ground balls to Harvey, 2 outs. And we'll have a pitch hitter here for Milt. And they need base runners, down by 5. And Johnny Tobin's going to come off the bench, try to keep this inning alive. And Tobin on the year's batting .448, 2 homers and 8 RBIs. And he gets a hold of this one. Tobin's not giving up. And that ball's hit into the gap. That's a 2-out double by Jack Tobin. Runner now in scoring position with 2 outs. Orioles need a few more of these base runners, though. Baby Doll's up now. Can he keep this inning alive? Orioles are down to the last out. Baby Doll's 0 for 3. He's grounded out 3 times. Twice once the pitcher, once the second, once the short, and he has walked. And he gets a hold of this, and all of a sudden George with 2 outs is struggling here. And that ball is blasted in the left field. No, I'm sorry, deep center field. Bob can't get to it. And that's going to hit the wall out there. Bob's giving chase. That's going to be an RBI triple. And now it's a 7-3 game with a runner down at third. And that might be it here for George. They're going to go to the bullpen, bring on the lefty to face Rice. Let's see who they got out here. They only got Whitehill's. The only lefty they got. But they're going to bring him in here. See if he can get the last out here. George can't quite finish the game up. So Whitehill will come in. Face Rice. The question is, will Rice stay in the game? And Rice is going to stay in the game. Rice is 0 for 4. He has flown out the center twice to left and reached on a fielder's choice. It's a 7-3 game. Here's the pitch to Rice. And he just gets under this one, and Cobb waits for it to calm down. And that's going to be the final out of the game. Orioles tried to make a comeback in the ninth, fall short. Tigers win 7-3. Take a look here at the box score. And the Tigers, 7 runs on 8 hits and 2 errors. The Orioles had 8 hits but couldn't drive them in. 3 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors. Ken Williams had 2 hits. And like I say, Bobby Wallace 2 for 3. Orioles were 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Left 8 men on base. Ty Cobb was 2 for 3. Charlie was 2 for 4. Boone was the man, though. 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Tigers were only 3 for 10. Runners in scoring position, left 5 on. Shocker picks up his first loss. He goes to 2-1, 6 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs, only 4 of them earned. Walked 2, struck out 4, gave up the home run. Pappas comes in, pitches 2 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, struck out 1. George tried to go the distance, couldn't quite make it. Picks up his second win, 8 2/3, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. Walk 3, struck out 1. Whitehill comes in, gets Rice to fly out, and that's your ball game. Check out the standings here in the leaderboard in the American League. And you got the Indians and Tigers tied for first. The Yankees and Senators a half a game back. Red Sox a game back. The Orioles are now a game and a half. White Sox 2 and the A's 2.5. Ted Williams leading with a .486 batting average. Lou Gehrig with 7 home runs and Williams with 16 RBIs. Bob Shockey with a 0.6 ERA. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pitchers with 2 wins. And 6 pitchers with 2 saves. And Lou's leading in the MVP voting. And Hal Newhouser's leading in the Best Pitcher Award. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Our next game will be the final game of this series between the Tigers and the Orioles. And while you're leaving Detroit, hit that like button and leave a comment. Until next time, y'all have a great day and take care.